Welcome to our live discussion. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing this evening? Hello, everyone. How are you doing this evening? Thank you. Welcome. Hit the like button and let me know you're there. Where are you coming from? What time is it? Welcome to my favorite groomer. Let's talk about this discussion. What are we going to do? What are you doing? What should you do? What do you want to do? Should I be grooming my own dog at home? Where are you writing from? Where are you at? What are you doing Saturday night during a pandemic? What's going on in your world, in your neck of the woods? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my favorite groomer discussion. Should I be grooming my own dog at home? I hope we can cover a little bit of ground tonight as we talk about some of the things that are unraveling in our world today. And I know we've talked here and there through this pandemic, through COVID-19, since March, whether you've had your business closed, whether you did not close down at all, whether you are grooming now. Are you wondering, should you be grooming? Are you wondering, should you be grooming your own dog? And how are you handling these discussions and thoughts that are going through your head? What should you be doing? Tell me, are you already grooming your own dog at home? Tell me, are you a groomer? Tell me, are you a groomer wondering if you should continue grooming? I see on many posts and many groups and many everywhere, all over the place, folks do have those questions. And we all don't have the exact answer now, do we? Especially since our government seems to have made it a household discussion whether you should stay home, not stay home, leave, not leave, but now must wear a mask. Hello, Dallas, Texas. Welcome. Everyone here, thank you so much for being here with us. Thanks for being part of the discussion. Be sure that you have tapped the like button and you want to discuss with me in our comment section here on the live chat. If you have social media, you're welcome to close out the chat and share it to your social media. Hey, if you guys have a dog, you guys have a cat, why don't we talk about these things? Here, come talk with us about these things. Watch this video with me. I'll try not to buy up too much of your time as it is Saturday night, and I know some of y'all have much better things to do than to hang out with me. But let's just go through some of the questions I have seen out there and wonder for myself and wonder for you as well. First on the discussion, let's talk about if you should be grooming your pet at home right now during this pandemic. You can actually read a little bit of this in the show more or arrow down in the description of each video. In this one, we're reading this off, okay? As it worsens, the dangers of COVID. Let's also talk about how clean your groomer should be now if you are to continue to use a groomer. Let's talk about what tools you might need. If I could name just 4, because I could keep going on. People are like, send me your tool list. Tell me what I need to groom my Labradoodle. And I really need to go, well, what's your budget? And like, what's realistic? Are you going to use all these tools? Your tool list could be shorter than mine or longer than mine. And your budget could be smaller or larger than I can imagine. So I'm only going to name 4 major tools as I decide to help you kind of go, those are the 4 things I majorly need and then why. Okay. If you like anything you see, you could check the description of the video. There'll be links in there for some of that kind of stuff. Well, thank you, Krabby. I appreciate that. Let's talk about what tools you might need if I could name just 4. Okay, so we'll do that. What would they be to do some grooming at home? Let's talk about, if you are a groomer, should you be grooming right now? Oh, I'm hitting some buttons on my screen here. All right, so let's first talk about, you let me know, what you think. Should you be grooming your dog at home right now? And if I were not a groomer, I would definitely be grooming my dog at home right now. So now we go, what are you thinking? So some folks have, okay, for instance, I hate to bring up names, and I'm not bringing it up in a bad or good way. So Cynthia bought clippers, right? She shaved Charlie once. It must have been pretty hard because she did go to a groomer during that 3-month period where everything was kind of shut down. She went to a groomer. And so everybody is not going to be able to sustain grooming their own dog at home. And I know some of y'all did go through another groomer or a groomer or found someone else. If your current groomer didn't want to open during the pandemic and you needed to still get groomed, but you couldn't do everything a groomer can do, or your dog won't let you do everything a groomer can do, you are forced to do something, right? And one out of the two, find another groomer that will take you during a situation like that. There were groomers that did not shut down. Then there's also going to a veterinarian, which sometimes a veterinarian doesn't really have all those tools to groom. Well, they'll surely put your dog out and groom, but they might not be the groomer. They're a veterinarian. Make sense? Amy, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. Amy Cowan, to my favorite groomer. Woohoo! Thank you for your donation. Please donate to support our live stream and our videos and our YouTube here. You can donate and click the donate on the right of the screen, I believe. So thank you so much for your donations. It helps us keep going and doing what we do, supporting something you love. And thank you so much. You must love us. So thank you very much. So the thing is, Dee, I would groom my dog at home right now. And unfortunately, I have the tools, but some of y'all don't. So we did a few videos like what tools you could use at home, what would work, because everybody doesn't have the finances either to buy a $200 clipper. I get that. So what can you do? So there's a bunch of videos that we already have and we've been doing to kind of give you that upper edge on using, your paper scissors. It'll work. It's not ideal, but it'll work. Man, let me tell you a secret. I would look around my house and I would be like, well, since we got this pandemic going on, I am selling that, and I am selling that, and I'm selling all that kitchen stuff I hardly use, and I'm going to sell all that, and I might sell that. And after I sell all that on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or wherever you're selling it, but be safe. After I sell all this stuff, I am going to take all that cash and I'm going to buy one clipper, right? Here's the 4 things. A clipper with a blade and a guard, a brush and a comb, if I don't already have one now, or a Zoom groom, you might not even need the clipper, and a grooming table with the loop, and 1 scissor. Those are the 4 things I think, and some of them have to go hand in hand, but those are the 4 groups of things I think you need. Like if it was just complete minimum. So then it'd be like, well, I better sell my king size bed, right? Well, I better sell my bicycle, or, you should keep that. Those are a dime a dozen right now. Those are not a dime a dozen right now. I'm going to sell that something. You know what I mean? So here's what I want you to think about as you decide, should I be grooming my dog at home right now? We have today, which is every day gets worse. Are you guys with me? Every day it gets worse. Now in March, I said this is going to be one of the worst Christmases we'll ever have. And it really is looking to be that. If we don't wake up as a nation, there's going to be a lot of changes happening around us. And you better watch that video. You better have your goodbyes in order now, not in December, now. If we don't get our asses together, then we're going to be looking at a completely different situation in a month or in 2 months or in 3. And I'm not fearful, let it all happen as it may, but I am very concerned that we're not all on the same page, which means me staying away from everybody is probably the best thing I can do for most people and animals. Now, if I wasn't a groomer, for instance, just like I'm not a nurse and I'm not going to try to get up in the hospital right now. So I am not a doctor and I'm not going to the hospital right now. And I am not a teacher and I'm not going to any school right now. But I am a groomer and I had to make a choice, and I had to make choices. I either close the salon and completely stop grooming and just hang out with y'all, or I need to be these folks' groomer. And these folks I'm talking about are people who over many years finally found me, and they have nowhere else to go. If they can't do a little bit of something grooming at home on that aggressive dog, then the only other option was a sedated grooming. And if you owned a dog that was 18 years old that needed to be sedated for grooming every 3 months, I can promise you are not going to do that. You are going to want to find somebody that will help you. And since I have been that somebody for many, many people, I couldn't just feel good about closing the salon and just staying home for my own self safety. Now, because of that, I am able to continue to help some groom dogs, not as I was before, as I have reevaluated the way I do business in order to ensure safety of everyone, the dogs and the people that I'm around, and quite frankly, not trying to be around anybody except the animal. Now, you have got to make that decision on if you should be grooming your own dog at home right now. And with that decision comes, would you be able to? Can you get the tools? Do you have the tools at home that will allow you to do that? Will you really do it? If not, then you might as well just say, no, I can't do this at home. My dog will not let me. I have to groom some people's dogs because their dogs will not let them do anything at home. Not like that. You have to make that decision looking at you and your dog and the tools you have and the ability of you doing it with your dog, and if that's even possible. And that will be your answer. Now let's look inside that answer. Your answer is, yes, I can do it at home. So the tools that I recommend, and this is a group of 4, it's in the description of the video. Clipper. Man, I feel like if you're going to have a dog that has hair that needs to be grooming, here's the clipper. Right now, this one and a couple other ones I have a couple cheap listings, like cheap new clippers. Just go look and see what I got. Go to my website, type in AGC. The link is right there. Clipper for sure. Clipper. Why? You can do a lot with the clipper. If you end up being fearful with the scissors, the clipper can do a lot. And if your dog doesn't want to let you do it, that's just going to take some training. And we have videos of that coming soon. But you cannot expect your dog that's going to be angry with your hand to love the clipper without training. You have got to decide a time and a place and how often you're going to do training with your dog every day. You can't just expect that dog to be like, I'm ready, I'm 18, and I'm going to let you do everything you want with those clippers. No. And you might need help. I don't know. Your dog is going to do what your dog is going to do, especially at, say, 18 years old. You remember? Coconut? I said number 1, a clipper comes with a blade usually. A clipper with a blade and at least a guard. Why? A guard you can use the guard upwards and downwards, which is forward and backward in some of my videos. At least one guard, any guard. But that gives you some play, like an artist getting red and blue pencil, right? Instead of just getting black, because you can do just what you can with black, you can now add some color, red and blue. So instead of just getting one blade, which it'll come with, get a guard. That's at minimum, okay? The next thing that I recommend you have is the brush and comb. A lot of people already have one, but no offense, if you have one that has the This is my favorite brush, the large bristle brush. If you have one with the little dots here, you might make it work, but if it doesn't pull out the knots, then you're just going over the knots, in my opinion. But hey, if you can make it work, do it. A brush and a comb, and I've got my favorite comb here, the aluminum, and it's this nice, fun turquoise color, but the purple is pretty too. I love the aluminum. It's a little lighter, and that's actually all I have right now. Why? Because Andis had closed down for a while. You got to do what you got to do. Brush and comb. And if you, I didn't grab one, but if you have a dog that's short hair, a Zoom groom, the inexpensive brush, that's all you need. You might not even need a brush if you have a short hair breed dog, okay? But however, there are some short hair breed dogs that still need a brush. Like that, just like there are some short hair breed cats that still got that bushy thing going on the back. You still need a brush and a comb to get through all that. The next thing that's really important, the next group of things that's really important, in my opinion, because I had to really think about, like, okay, if I don't have a clipper, well, that eliminates doing all that. If I don't have at least one scissor, I can't even do trimming of the ears or anything like that. And if I don't have a grooming table, guess what? My entire career grooming my dog at home is going to be a hurting back. So if you can't make a table, create a table, maybe even just get the table arm. And right now, table arms are really kind of disappearing because everyone's getting them. Table arms and tables are becoming very narrow in inventory. But a grooming table, a grooming arm, which it usually comes with, and a grooming loop, which this is my favorite grooming loop here, this 18-inch, and I've got the pink one to show you. It's really easy to move it back and forth fast with just one hand, right? I love that. So a groom loop can save your day, and you can kind of rig something up at home if you have a groom loop. I've had some people just use a chair, put their small dog on the chair. They sit down Indian style in front of the dog with the chair above, right? The chair's seat with the dog on it, with the groom loop, with swiveled around. I mean, you can innovate anything you want. Make do. It may not be the perfect, but putting your dog on a platform is better than doing it on the floor, as we did a long time ago with Rocco and Bear. It is backbreaking. I have a 10 blade here. Get your 10 blades. If you don't have them, or if you don't want to get extras, definitely get an extra if you can, but that's not necessary. It's not necessary. You're going to take some breaks if you don't have extras, but it's not necessary. And then lastly, the fourth thing is a scissor. Some kind of scissor, and what I pulled here was the Anvil brand bubble tip. 7. Okay. So that's really all you need to get started in that right direction. Are you going to be a pro groomer? No. Are you going to be able to do some things? Yes. Are you going to be able to practice now with some things? Yes. Are you going to be able to maybe even start at the low totem pole, which is plug in the clipper and just hold it in your hand and just rub your wrist on your dog, just training your dog to let you get in there. I mean, just doing a little something, something. And that might be your training with the groom loop on and that, or a leash and collar on. And some of these things, like I said, if you have them, I don't want you to rebuy. But these are just a handful of things that I feel like if I were going to groom my dog at home, these are the handful of things I know would be really necessary to at least do something at home. Okay. You don't need all this other stuff, this and that. Now, mind you, I'm not mentioning just the nice things to have like shampoo or conditioner. You don't need both. It's not necessary. You can, but I'm talking about what do I need to go get right now to do this at home if I was going to do it? Just a handful of things, not your $2,500 shopping day for a groomer. I'm talking about just a handful of basic stuff. Shampoo, conditioner, eye wash, all these things I'm not mentioning. Now, could you get them? Absolutely. You know, the bandage spray, a cologne, bows. I mean, you could get all kinds of stuff. But what I want you to know is that if I really, really wanted to do this at home, what are just a handful of things? So those are what I just named. Now, if you're not going to do these things at home, you're like, no, it's not working for me. My dog's not going to work with me. This is not going to work for me, right? That's you. The answer is no. We've already covered yes, and we've covered the tools. Now the answer is really no. So if the answer is no, then you're going to use a groomer. Am I right? You could try your veterinarians. It depends on how big your town is too. Is there an abundance of groomers grooming right now? How are they handling it? I know several groomers sending everyone to me. And I tried to call them to say thank you. And also, what are they doing? And why are they not going to open up again? And they didn't answer me and they didn't call me back. So it tells me a lot of folks are changing the way they do business. They might not even be in business anymore. And I'm talking about groomers. So you have to go, well, if I'm going to use a groomer, now what? Here it is, right? We're going to talk dangers of COVID. Should I be grooming my dog at home? Let's talk about how clean your groomer should be right now if you are going to continue to use a groomer. So in my opinion, this is Dee Dee's opinion, I think whatever cleanliness was happening before, we should be 100% different now. 100%. So if you, and now guess what? You could walk in before, but now you can't. So likely your groomer is going to be doing some kind of different services for you. So however they are trying to do their services shouldn't mean you can't look through the door, right? It shouldn't mean you can't look through the window. And I would want to be felt confident that my groomer was really clean now. And then every groomer is going to have to do their own grooming and their own system. But what's scary to me with the dangers of COVID, so let's kick back on one notch here. Dangers of COVID, we know dogs can get it from a human. We know dogs can get the virus from a human. So wouldn't it be possible, it could be possible that the dog could give it to me? And maybe couldn't it be possible that the dog could give it to another dog? If it's running through our animal kingdom a little bit, how are they all spreading it amongst each other? Now, I'm not the scientist behind this. Although I was born with a little common sense, I would let you just to kind of put that in your mind and just think for a minute yourself. That if you had COVID-19 and you kissed my dog, you could give it to my dog. But yet the dog kissed the groomer and maybe wouldn't give it to the groomer, or the dog was in a cage next to another dog and they were breathing hard together and one was positive and one was negative. Could that really not infect each other or everyone in that facility? And then if COVID can live, say, on a cardboard box for 3 days, but not on the coat of the dog when the owner just sneezed on the dog and he gave the dog to me as a groomer for me to pick up and now take inside and bathe in that vapor water right away? Now, if you haven't thought about all these things and you are always grooming, you're already grooming, you're already grooming, but you haven't thought about any of these things. Now, I really have to say, why haven't you? And as a pet owner, and I'm a groomer, and of course I'm looking at all the area. What I'm looking at mostly is where could it go and how could it get there? So if it could go that way and it could get there and there's a possibility, you know that phrase, if it can happen, it will? If it could happen and it will, then wouldn't this be it? So that's why you really need to look at all of it and make a good sound judgment on your dog and your situation and just do the best decision making you can for your household. Because that's what we're all left up to do right now, at least currently. So in my opinion, if I knew how to, and I could, I'm a go-getter. So if I wasn't a groomer, I would try to do it myself. You know, I love to play Google Doctor all the time. So if I feel like I'm capable of doing some research and really like maybe changing out a motor in a vehicle by using YouTube or Google, I would probably do that before I went to a sick auto mechanic. I might try to cook more food at home and eat at home more so than eat out, to prepare myself not to have someone sneeze and touch their hand and touch my food because I wouldn't want to get sick. Do you see what I mean? I'm that type of person to kind of want to do it myself. And that does come with some risks. So where are you at in this decision? Have you made your decisions already regarding this? And what tell me right here in the feed, what are the decisions you have made? Have you started grooming your dogs at home? Are you still grooming as a groomer? Do you have all these tools, and were you going to plan on getting them, or you already have them? I mean, because I know y'all have to be dog or cat, most of y'all, but right? Are you guys dog and cat owners out there? I mean, what are your decisions? Tell me now. And thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation, Brandy Ramos, to my favorite groomer. Woohoo! Thank you, Brandy. Thank you for your support, keeping us going alive. I appreciate you. Support what you love, because what you love might not always be there. And I've been telling you that for a long time. Support what you love. It might not always be there. Maru is right. Let me tell you, I just do a couple times, even bathing my dogs on the ground in the bath. Oh no. It's like, oh no. No. We got to fix that, right? We have to fix that. Okay, I'm not trying to take up too much of your time tonight, so we'll keep pressing. Let me know, what decisions have you made? Have you made that decision? Are you already grooming your dogs at home? Are you still having to use a professional? What are you anticipating from your professional? How are you going to check and balance your professional in being that clean if they don't do what I do, like record, show you, stuff like that? How are you not wondering how clean it is, and how are you approaching your groomer right now? I do think that the groomer, again, should be 100% cleaner than they were before if they're still going to have dogs coming into their facility. And then what if a client is bringing their dogs into that facility still? They're breathing in there, the dog's breathing in there, everyone's breathing in there. So what are the steps that groomer is doing? You need to watch and be concerned. And again, as usual, I'm going to say it shouldn't hurt, and you shouldn't get backlash or defensive if someone's got some questions. You should be able to answer those, especially during a time of a pandemic. You should make me feel comfortable that I'm leaving my dog with you. Lastly, let's talk about, if you are a groomer, should you be grooming right now? Let me tell you, coming back into my salon, when I went there to move completely everything, the last few things out, and having that overwhelming feeling of, I don't feel that this is what I needed, should, or will do. I literally had people meeting me to move stuff out of there that day. And you will know, I tell you all the time, like, God's going to tell you, that Holy Spirit's going to tell you what you need to do and how you need to do it. And I just wasn't getting an answer, but I needed to make a decision so I can let that building go. But showing up on arrival and have that feeling of like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be closing right now. So you're going to have a feeling or an attestment, or the Holy Spirit's going to come over you, and you're going to have a feeling, and you're going to know what to do. You're just going to know. So I walk in there and I make some decisions. Within the first hour, I'm walking around looking, kind of picturing things. How is this going to work? How am I doing this? And you know what? During a situation like this, that we're going through, a pandemic that we have never been through before in our lifetime, which is, I still feel like I'm living a dream. This can't be real. But you can't ignore it and avoid it and think it's a hoax and a joke, because it's not. It's really happening. It doesn't mean that my decision 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago to stay open isn't going to change. You have to roll with the punches. You have to take stride and look around, measure things, listen, write it down, overall do some balances, pros and cons, and it should be like a daily reevaluation for you and your business. If something happens today in your business and makes you kind of go, I read today somebody said, are any of y'all going to go ahead and shut down your grooming salons because our numbers are getting crazy? And some people are like, already did. I won't be grooming again. I retired. I saw lots of things like that being said. And it does make you go, I had one lady, me and this lady talked just briefly for a little while. And you know what's funny is that she said this, and she's a stranger. I've never met her before. She did say she was an Air Force veteran, though. She said, I had already decided that this was too much for me. And she was in a different state, okay? Checked out this story. She's in a different state. She's a groomer. She had been grooming, I swear she said 30 years. So a long time, long groomer. She said, I sold and gave away everything, like everything. It just came over her. She just up and gave away everything. And she said, this was too much for me. And I'm going straight down. She said she's moving to Florida. And on her way, she's going to visit family until she gets to the beach. And she's moving to Florida. And I thought to myself, well, this is the time to make some drastic life changes. If you have been living your best life for someone else or for other people, I see a lot of us groomers working hard hours, many grooms. And then I don't see them in a mansion, right? And I don't see them driving around a ZZ Top car. And I don't see a lot of that. I see us really overworked and not with a lot of things. Not that you need a lot of things, but something that shows like, look at what I've worked 30 years for. We don't own a house, or we don't have a rental property, or we don't own 10 rental properties to set us up for retirement. We've been working 8, 10, 15 dogs a day for 10, 12 years. Our bodies are shot. Our arms are shot. Our minds have not taken care of ourselves. So we've been overworked, and we did it to ourselves, because I don't know who programmed us on that stuff, or someone didn't tell us to get ready for retirement or prepare us for health issues or surgeries we might end up having. But somebody should have this talk with a beginner groomer, just like you have a financial planner sit down and have a talk at the beginning of your military career and kind of say, well, sort of, but someone kind of guiding you into where you feel like you're going to go and where are you going to end up and when do you want to end up there as a groomer. And don't forget to take care of yourself along the way, which means good exercise, good eating habits, have a balanced life structure, spend time with your dogs half the time, spend time with your family, and all these things that we forget to do when we're doing 12 dogs a day. You're grooming 12 dogs a day. You have enough energy. What David would say is get home to sleep and go back to sleep and get ready to do it again tomorrow. Am I right? Is any of this hitting home for y'all? Maybe I've put you guys to sleep now. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm the only one here talking to myself. Maybe I got to refresh this. Oh yeah, that's better. I had to go change my screen. It does look like I got to refresh this. I didn't see MP say hello to Jennifer or nothing. Let's try this again. I want to see what y'all have to say. All right. I had to go refresh my chat. Okay, let me see what y'all are saying here. Okay, here we go. This is where I left off. Hey, Donna, and anyone who's members, thank you so much for being a member. Buffy, Donna, appreciate your memberships. MP, Diane, appreciate y'all. That's really awesome that you all are members. If those of you guys want to become a member, it's in the chat. Excuse me, in the description of the video. So looking at where we left off, and then we're going to do a close up, okay? Jennifer T still hasn't been able to have, I'm going to through the live chat. So if you don't see that, I'm just going to read what some folks have written as we were talking. Jennifer T has lost her mom through the COVID-19 And Jennifer T ordered an electric table, clippers, a lot of grooming tools. She's just a very loyal client of mine and friend. And I just have to say, she's not even able to have a funeral for her mom yet. And I don't even want to get into it, but I would be like, where is my mom's body? And what is it in a semi truck right now? Okay. Buffy says, I started grooming my dog shortly after I found Dee Dee. I mean, I groomed Papillons before then, but they were easier compared to the Yorkies. So she had already started grooming. So we were kind of asking, who is already grooming? Were you wanting to groom? Are you going to start grooming? What are the decisions are you making? Maru says, I've been grooming my own dog off and on before COVID, and now all the time, though I recommend getting at least 3 blades, a table of some sort, and grooming scissors. Those are about what I mentioned, right? The table is going to be so important. Callie, hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. Truth bomb number 1 was which one, girl? They are lucky to break even. I know. Why? Why do we do that to ourselves? I feel there are so many jobs that take a toll on our bodies. I have carpal tunnel from mine, but I've learned to manage it. Exactly. So what I'm saying, if you're not a groomer, you probably still get it, that we do that to ourselves no matter, it's kind of maybe just the person. But I can tell you right now, when I look around at my peers, I don't see, like I'm telling you, there's not a lot of groomers I'm seeing that have this mansion or this thing going on or all, like, why? That means we're either living paycheck to paycheck, we're not saving, we're not getting ready for retirement, we don't have, so this groomer sold what she had, all of it, sold every little thing she had, which I honestly, just by reading, sounded like I just sold everything I had, my grooming trailer, my thing, my clippers, my this, my table, this and that. I left my apartment and then I just got in the car and said goodbye and gave the rest of the stuff away because she is going to go find her happy life. Do you understand? She didn't have a house to sell, a property over here to sell. It wasn't that kind of a discussion. It was like, if this is the end, I'm going to my happy place. The place that I've been longing to go to my entire life, and this is it, and I'm going to do it. And this might be a sign for you to do it too. This might be for me to share that story with you. You might go, you know what? If she can do it, so can I. Yes, 30-year groomer. So that puts you 30 years grooming puts you had to start grooming in 20s or 30s. That puts you around what age of life? And she's retired military. Let's really look at the number there. She finally said, this is enough for me. I have got to go enjoy what little life I have left. And that's how I saw her message. And I told her, thank you for your service. And yes, go live your best life. Go do it. If the beach, because the beach is always calling me. So if that's your best life, go. She says, I'm going to visit family all the way down until I get to Florida. Diane says, you're right on, Dee Dee. We're listening. Woohoo! I also got amazing gifts from Dee Dee. Thank you, Donna. You're an amazing orderer. She's loyal too. She orders every month, no matter what. It doesn't matter how big or small the order is. She's just consistent and always supporting my business. Thank you, Donna. I bet that so many groomers like Dee Dee work hard to serve others. Absolutely. I think a lot of folks do. Now I'm going to bring a whole nother subject up a different time. Watch for that one. I'm going to show you some stuff you won't believe. You love the pictures. Thanks, Jennifer T. I'm not a groomer, but I can only imagine how tired you are at the end of the day. You know, I used to work in the service industry, and walking back around with all these plates on my shoulders is what I did for years. And grooming is a whole different thing, but you're walking around holding a big husky to move around to the bath, or they're being wild and bucking, or teeth that could just tear your face off. I mean, no matter how you look at it, whether it was that service industry, at least no one was trying to bite me while I was working as a bartender or in the service industry. At least no one was trying to bite me. But nowadays, you got to wonder if someone's going to walk in with a gun and shoot your ass, right? Especially right now, especially if you don't have anything on the door that says something about this kind of life or that kind of life or whatever. You better just watch out. You might get burnt down. So I want you all to know how really important it is to kind of consider some of the things that come with, should I be grooming? If you are a groomer, and should you still be grooming? The answer is, for me, I am grooming, but I'm grooming completely different. And I'm trying my best to reevaluate my grooming every single day. And the way I groom is really specific now. If you thought I was stern before, well, I'm really stern now. And if you don't understand why I have to be, then we're not on the same page, and I'll have to say, no, I can't take you in. There are enough groomers out there that there will be a groomer that can help you. This is a scary time, and some decisions have to be made, and your welfare, your health, your life, that dog's life, all come into play in this decision. And as I tell clients, and I tell y'all out there, if you're going to go somewhere and do something, the risk is death. And so you have to be willing to accept the fact that you stepped out of your house in order to go risk that. And you should take responsibility for your decision. And in that decision, you are saying, if I'm going to let you groom my dog and my dog gives you COVID-19, or you give my dog COVID-19 unknowingly, I want to say it was a risk both parties and all parties, except for the dog, agreed to be in. All human parties that can speak English agreed to be in that. So all risks were taken by each party, correct? So be careful how you get ready and don't tread lightly. It's really important that you understand the risks, and I want to repeat it. The risk is death. I know we haven't really said that ever before, but in grooming, you take a risk of being bit every day that you groom. And the people that work at the zoo, I don't even know, man. Today I seen it on the news, something about the zoo needs this and food and then that, and then how many animals they still have to feed and this and that, and they can't even be open right now, so they don't even get money to. So if you have meat, man, please take it to your local nearest tiger rescue and zoo, or if you have something to give, call around and give it away. But can I just bring something to your attention? Before we close out for the night, real quick now. I want you to listen real close. Are you ready? You may not understand. You don't have to. I just want you to hear it for a minute. Just hear it just for a minute. And see, I don't have any facts, so I just need you to just think about it later. If mosquitoes could carry COVID-19, do you think we would know about it yet? If all those animals that were, think about this for just a minute, and I don't have any facts, I don't know. But if all those animals that I got so mad that were being slaughtered because they were just overabundant, all those chickens that were over and abundant, nowhere to go, no one was buying chicken meat, so they just slaughtered them all. They didn't slaughter them all. You know what they did? They euthanized them all. Did you not know that happened in March, April, and May? They euthanized cows. They euthanized chickens. They euthanized all these animals, right? Right? Why? So I was like, set them free, right? I don't give a crap. They've got wild boar running around all over the place. That's why they give us that boar license to go hunting for them. What if all of those animals had COVID-19? Would they tell us that? Or would they just say that we had such a setback on no one was buying meat at that time that we had to euthanize them all? Hmm. Because in my opinion, okay, one day we had news here in Texas that, yeah, a tiger rescue. We have a tiger rescue out here, and not even just tiger, I think like cat rescue, but they do panthers, leopards, tigers, lions, right? And they had that on the news, and they said like they were running out of meat. like they don't have like they were out. They have to feed them tons, 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 in weight form, tons of meat to these animals, and they everywhere's sold out. So then why didn't the farmers connect with all these zoos? And why didn't they connect with all the rest, like tiger rescues across the nation? We got semi trucks that we can drive around, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We got places okay, I'm just a little person. I'm just real small, this little tiny baby groomer, this little baby person on YouTube. But there's $1 million companies up there that are huge, that I would think that just with talking a few people, the meat industry's billions of dollar, $1 trillion industry, that you would just talk to a few people and say, we're going to slaughter 600,000 cows. We're going to euthanize them. Excuse me. I keep saying slaughter, but that's not the case. We are going to euthanize hundreds of thousands of animals here. Does anybody want them for the tiger rescue? Y'all can just literally let them walk in the cage. I mean, there's no slaughtering needed. No, do you see what I mean? Yeah, but to just euthanize them all, I'm still gonna be like wondering that for the rest of my life, like why that even happened. I'm just gonna never ever let that go until I find out, till something else comes, because that just didn't seem right to me. So on a wrap, thanks a lot for being here and chit-chatting with us tonight and doing our discussion on, should you be grooming your own dog at home? If the answer is yes, go back to the beginning of this video where we tell you a few tools, about 4 sets of tools that you need to really kind of get started. Clipper, brush, comb, groom loop, a guard, 1 blade, and a scissor. And a grooming table at minimum with an arm. So if you need to get that again, it's in the description of the video, or in the very beginning of the video, we go through all the tools. If you're not going to groom your dog, what should you look for? How should it be? Ask questions, make sure they're 100% cleaner than they were before. And their system should be different. It shouldn't just be like the exact same thing that they were doing before. You want hand sanitizer? We have it in kits, we have it in bundles, we have it in singulars. Get them. You should be carrying that stuff with you. You should be giving it away. I mean, you should have it everywhere you go to kill anything that from touching something, right? But you need to be proactive just as much as if you were going to do it at home, but you can't. You need to be proactive in how it's happening, because your dog could potentially be in a position to get sick, in my opinion. Now, we don't have enough facts, but I'm just using A and B and coming up with C. So A and B, we already covered. If your dog can get me sick, then let's not end it there, okay? And then lastly, if you're a groomer and you're wondering if you should still be grooming, I think you're going to have that gut feeling really tell you how it's going down right now. And if you are, your changes should have been made. The way you handle your business, the way you, yes, I have something that people sign, and you should always have something that they sign. And you should have a lawyer under your belt. If not even that, you should have some kind of insurance as well. And if you need referrals, I'll always try to point you in the right direction for that. But at the end of the day, you need to take care of the clients that you're grooming, not just for yourself, but for your client too. If you groom a dog today and you cause death, what's your go on that? What's your take on that? What are you going to do about that? Do you have enough money to give that family because you caused death? What is the agreement? Is there an agreement? Are you afraid to talk about what's the reality of the situation? If you are, maybe grooming is not what you should be doing right now. Because if they were going to sue you, if you nicked their ear, they're definitely going to sue you if you killed their dog. I mean, if you need to have that discussion before you have someone come in. Am I not right about that? Why is it that we always never want to talk about the truth of things? Okay, if you're about to get married, let's also talk about divorce. What happens when we're not going to like each other? What happens if it doesn't work out? Let's talk about these horrible things while we're in good standing, because if you can't talk about it when it's good, you're definitely not going to be able to talk about it when it's bad. So you're going to talk about nicking your dog and it hasn't happened yet. You should also talk about the death risk in COVID-19, whereas you cannot tell anybody anything about COVID-19 because you have no idea what the heck is about to happen. You can say, we are both taking risks. Do you agree? And I agree, and we're not going to sue each other. Is that the deal? You need to stand up. It's your business. And if you are going to do business, you need to have the balls to stand up and say something about that. And maybe balls wasn't the right word. So you need to have the guts and the courage to stand up and say, look, this is my rules. And if you don't like my rules, I will refer you to another groomer down the road. But here's my rules and here's how I feel comfortable doing them. And then you have your own rules. And your rules are just that, your rules. Because it's your business, not mine and not hers and not his. It is your business and you are conducting business for yourself. And you need to watch your own self because no one else is going to give a shit about you if something goes down. Not even that client, no offense. If you injure a pet, you better be ready for it because it's not a matter if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. Okay? So I hope you got all that. And I don't think I've talked about that kind of stuff for quite a while. So please, please take some notes. Rewind it and take some notes. This is serious stuff. When you have to go into a groom thinking I could cause death, you better have some discussions with the client, even if you've never met them before. What better way to have a true conversation about the love and care and passionate care you have for their pet than before they walk into your doors? Have that discussion before anything bad happens. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Please be sure to share this with your local groomer and let them know. Have those discussions with us. We want you to be honest with us. If I have to use you, I'd rather choose somebody who can be truly honest with me about the reality of the situation and allow me to make decisions based on my pet. Because if I'm somebody that's going to sue you, you might want to make sure you've had that discussion with me. You might want to be clear. Okay. If you are going to groom your own pet, be careful. Injuries do happen, whether a groomer does them or you do them. But working with an animal, working with children, working with a knife in the kitchen, working at a doctor's office can all lead up to any kind of thing. So just have your guard up and be ready. Do some research, have some study done. And yes, that is right. Get a lawyer to review your grooming agreement. That's what they do. Get a lawyer to review your grooming agreement. Absolutely. Thank you so much again for being here. You can contribute by shopping at myfavoritegroomer.com. Hit that donation, throw a donation in there, buy your tools with me. If you're learning stuff from me, support me and my business at myfavoritegroomer.com. And we just love hanging out with you. And I really appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, you can email me. If it's a couple minutes, I will answer it. If it's more than that, you're welcome to book a coaching. All right, love you guys. Thanks a lot. We did a whole hour, man. Man, I tell you what. Oh, I love those rainbow hearts. That's pretty. Just be careful out there. A lot's happening. Get that face mask. I'm going to do another video showing you guys, a little bit about the face mask, but wear your face mask. Keep them clean. Get a face shield. Face shield to me, man, when I walk into a place with my face shield on, I feel like triple protected, and everyone doesn't have one. I'm like, yeah, I got the triple protection, baby. I'm wearing go ahead and breathe on me because it ain't going to even touch me. I freaking love my face shield, man. I'm proud. You can't even tell who I am, but I walk in there with yep. Yes, I do. I have a mask on, and I might even have my glasses on. I have my mask on, my glasses, and my face shield. Ain't none of your none of your spit is gonna get on me. Right? That got a whole face shield covering up everything. Freaking, I feel so much better than I ever did when I was standing in line to get my mail and everything's blowing in my eyeballs. I was so upset. And you know what? They haven't changed the rules. They don't make them wait outside. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. They do not care about my health. And no. Get a face shield. It's so important. These little things that you can do. You can make your own face shield. I don't know where you get all this stuff, but definitely, All right. Have a great night. Have a great Saturday night. We will see you tomorrow. Bye, you guys. See you. Bye.